I need you to knock some sense into me. I'm sure you can.
Yeah, I don't know.
I enjoy listening to you. I don't always agree with everything.
All right. Enough of this persiflage.
So, you want my question?
I'm certainly not going to get myself in trouble by telling you what to do.
That makes great sense. Gosh, that's good.
Did I overwhelm you with words and wisdom?
I've got 7 kids. I feel like I could call you every day.
Wait, you're telling me I'm wrong?
Yes, I am, Dr. Ray.
You just need to tune in to Dr. Ray, honey. He's got all the answers.
Am I right or am I right?
Probably.
Now, from the studios of Living Bread Radio Network in Canton, Ohio, the hometown of Mother Angelica, here's Dr. Ray.
Some people have said that have listened to this program, they get these consults to come in, try to tell you how to improve your program. So I guess EWTN and Ave Maria, they went out and hired a whole bunch of these consults, and they said you just need to sound smarter. And I thought, how do I do that? How do I sound smarter? And then I realized it's so simple. I think of dumb things to say, and then I don't say them. Addition by subtraction. To sound smarter, think of dumb things, and then don't say them. So I think I've got it down pat, and I'll write EWTN and Ave, and I'll say I've pretty much got it mastered. Nice to have you here. See, I thought of something dumb already, and I didn't say it. You didn't even hear it. So, the number to get onto the program is 877-57-EQUAL. That's the acronymic translation. The number is 877-573-7825. Acronymic's a lot easier to remember. 877-57-EQUAL. If you would like to call in for your own reason, whether it's a situation, circumstance, person in your life from which you are perplexed or angry or apathetic. Could be any one of a number of reasons, as you decide. We'll put you on the apathy hotline, but we don't really care to go there. And if you have a feedback for someone, helpful. You guys give the greatest stuff. Many people call in and say, look, here's the situation, Dr. A. Here's what we did. Here's how we analyzed it. Here's how we thought about it. Here's how it worked out for us. And I listen, and I write it down, and I gather them up after about a year or so, put them in books, and I make a lot of money. I just want to thank you all so very much. Keep doing it. Sometimes people call in because they have general questions about psychology, behavior, emotions, maybe something going on in the culture that impacts the way we live, something you've been confused about, whether you've heard it on the news, and it just perplexes you in terms of what you understand about human nature or what you understand about the faith. So the number, 877-573-7825. I thoroughly enjoy talking to you folks, and there is no program without you. So 877-57-EQUAL. All right, some business to take care of. I want to thank Guadalupe Radio Network down in Houston. I was there for the Summer Speaker Series. What a great time that was. Thank you for all you did for me to come in. And I kissed the concrete, and the eye is as black as it was when I talked to you that night. Actually, it's a lot more black. So I've got something to remember Texas by. But thank you so very much for your hospitality and a wonderful group. Coming up this weekend, the Holy Spirit Retreat Center down in Norwood, Ohio, by Cincinnati there. And, of course, that's Sacred Heart Radio Turf. Be there on Friday night and Saturday, doing a couple of talks for the folks. So be absolutely delighted to meet with you and see you there. If you want information on that, you can just get a Holy Spirit Retreat Center. They got the folks there. You can talk to Patty or Judy. Or you go to my website. I think the number on my website is there, drray.com. And once more, and I know you people are getting tired of me beating this drum. However, good Lord permitting, August 19th and 20th, we will be in Buffalo, WNED Studios. That's their public education studio, to do 4 tapings of Living Right with Dr. Ray. a TV show on EWTN. Now, those will be the start of the 15th season. And Tuesday night, we'll have Father Larry Richards coming in for both shows. He'll be there the whole time. Normally, he has a 6-minute segment on every show. He is a very popular segment, much more popular than I am, actually. But that's okay. That's okay. He'll be there in person. And I noticed the numbers for the audience are leaping ahead. I like to think it's me, but I think he has a disproportionate share in those numbers. But if you would like to be in the audience, and the audience is fun, you are part of audience bits. I always have different things planned to do with the audience. You ask questions. You make comments. The audience is an absolutely integral part of the whole program. Go to thestationofthecross.com. Big, long word. Kind of like psychosomatic or vicissitudes. Thestationofthecross.com. That will get you to their homepage, and on the homepage you can sign up. You can sign up for 1, 2, 3, or 4 shows. Some people come all 4. Believe it or not, they do. It's wonderful. I can't even get my wife to come to half of one. But they do sign up for all 4 shows. And if you stay for both, we feed you in between. Yep. And we have a lot of fun. Some people come for the first show and say, I didn't plan on coming for the second, but I'm staying. That was fun. Shows are 5 and 7:15. They usually take about 80 to 90 minutes to do all the taping, and you get to see in the background how we pull all this stuff off, all the various things that are involved. So 877-573-7825 is the number here, and thestationofthecross.com to sign up there in Buffalo. Who do I believe are the most fearless people in the world? Most fearless. Now, people would speculate. They'd say, well, oh, gosh, that has to be somebody in an active war zone. Maybe a first responder. Yeah, there's a lot of courage involved. But I'm talking raw fearlessness. In the face of something that should be intimidating, but not only is not intimidating, but indeed provokes challenging behavior. Now let me just get this with me right here. I'm going to have to Google this, or was that what it's called? I don't know. I use DuckDuckGo. All right. So what do we got here? Let me see. Average size of 4. It's just taking me a minute here. I know this is dead radio air. You're not supposed to do this. Okay, there it is. This is part of my monologue. I should have had this done before I came in. I believe the most fearless people in the world are 4-year-olds. Now, we have Linda calling there. She's talking about her 4-year-old grandchild, but not under a fearless scenario. The average 4-year-old is a little over 3 feet tall. And the weight of an average 4-year-old can be anywhere from 30 to 45 pounds. Now, why do I think they are so fearless? Well, when a parent says to a 4-year-old, go to the corner, please, and the 4-year-old says, no, the 4-year-old looks up at the parent, who could be 6 feet tall. Of course, for your mom, maybe 5.5. But still, that's twice the height of a 4-year-old. And weight-wise, let's just pick the mean 35 pounds. Weight-wise, the average parent is 4 to 7 times the weight of an average 4-year-old. Now, they stand there and they challenge you. They may resist you. They may throw a fit. They may say no. They may look at you like, make me. Now, why is that so fearless? Well, Let's extrapolate. If you were to do this in the proportionate size from that 4-year-old to you, from you to someone else that proportionately is larger than you are the 4-year-old, let's just pick 150 pounds. Weight. Now, men generally are more than that. The ladies sometimes are a lot less than that. But let's just go 150. That person would weigh approximately 600 to 700 pounds. And they would be 12 feet tall. Would you look at a person that size and say, "No, make me"? I don't think there's an adult in his or her right mind who would do that. Why? Fear. You know better than to challenge someone disproportionately that much bigger than you. But yet, that 4-year-old, and you parents of preschoolers, you know what I'm talking about. That 4-year-old looks at you like, who do you think you are? You ain't getting me to that corner. That's not happening. Now, obviously, you are physically stronger. But if you certainly don't want to place the child in a corner, and you don't want to go through that kind of torquing and twisting and everything else that happens, you control everything. So, in essence, size is not your main leverage. Your main leverage is the fact that you will control the environment if the child refuses. But I thought about this. Now, I'm not a tall guy. I'm about 5'8", and I'm 170 pounds. So if I were to go head-to-head with somebody larger and heavier than me, than I am to a 4-year-old, the person would weigh, 4 times 17, 600, be about 700 pounds. That person would weigh about 700 pounds. And we're talking a grizzly here. And that person would be approximately 11 and a half feet tall. 1.5 feet above a basketball rim. I am not going to look at somebody that size and say, what? You want me to what? Yeah, right. You better get some help, buddy. I'll tell you that right now. So I believe the most fearless people in the world are 4-year-olds. Makes sense to me. 877-573-7825 is the number to call to get onto the program. I would very much wish to talk to you and listen to you and interchange. I'm Dr. Ray.
In 2022, a brave young woman named Rima traveled to Ukraine to deliver medical supplies. She decided to stay, practicing combat medicine on the front lines. Join us on Sunday, August 24th at St. Francis Parish in Ann Arbor for a fundraiser dinner to buy medical supplies for Ukraine. Keynote speaker is Catholic apologist Joe Heschmeyer. To buy tickets or to donate, visit a2forukraine.com. That's a2forukraine.com.
You like pizza? Me too. And for that, we can thank our friend Tom Monahan. First, he starts with $900 and opens one pizza shop. Then it's worldwide, thousands of shops. But all this was just a warm-up for his greatest achievement yet. He built a university.
God inspired Tom to build up generations of men and women who have a hunger to reach the world for Christ. This place is Ave Maria University.
Visit avemaria.edu to see what's next.
This program is brought to you by the following nonprofit underwriter.
Are you longing to hear God's voice? Lord, Teach Me to Pray, the free Ignatian Prayer Series will open your heart to His voice, to the peace you are seeking, and the only love that fulfills the human heart, Jesus. God is calling you to true joy, knowing Jesus personally. Lord, Teach Me to Pray is free. Go to LordTeachMeToPray.com, click on the red box, order the Lord Teach Me to Pray series now. Go to LordTeachMeToPray.com.
Underwritten in part by the following nonprofit.
Are you paying high prices with a traditional health insurance company that pays for things that violate your conscience? There's an alternative available. Solidarity HealthShare is a community of faithful individuals and families that never share into immoral medical services, all while saving you money with prices starting as low as $85 per month for singles and $512 for families. Never fund another abortion with your healthcare dollars. Call 844-313-4999 to learn more.
I certainly appreciate the company very, very much on this Doctor's In. Monday through Friday, 1 o'clock. Co-production, EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network and Ave Maria Radio Communications. Let's go to Linda. She's a grandmother, and she has some concerns about her very little. And speaking of 4-year-old, the most fearless children in the world. Hi, Linda.
Hi, Dr. Ray. Thank you for taking my call.
Hey, I am so sorry to hear about this with your son and his wife. Man.
Yes.
Whew.
Tough stuff.
Yeah. Jeez. That poor guy's probably just putting one foot in front of the other, right?
Yes, and he's a first responder, which you just mentioned.
You're worried that the 2 and the 4-year-old will possibly have to adjust to a new mommy in their lives if and when he meets someone, and will that affect somehow, some way, his relationship with them?
Yes.
No. That's a simple answer. No. Here's why.
What if it's...
Go ahead.
What if it's sooner than later?
Well, that's even less, because the 2-year-old will have no memory at all of mom.
Yes.
That'll happen. The 4-year-old will have bits and pieces, snapshot memories. But what will happen very quickly is that if there is this new woman in their lives, and she essentially raises them at that age as her own children, which they are, they will simply, and I don't even want to use the word adjust, because that implies that they have to go through a period. They will simply acclimate very well to the fact that this is mommy. A very dear friend of mine died, as his wife died when the kids were 4, 3, and 1. And he remarried, I'm going to say 3, 4 years later. And the children grew up and viewed the new woman in their lives as their mom. She's who raised them. So I wouldn't worry at all. Now, I'll tell you, Linda, if you're asking me what concern I might have, it would be that your son would change his parenting style because he feels so bad for the kids.
Nope.
Okay. I've seen that. I've seen that a lot, where they think, oh my gosh, these kids got ripped off so bad, I can't ask them to behave too.
Well, fortunately, him being a first responder, between my older son, his older brother, and my husband and I, we have the kids when he's on duty.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So we're all kind of on the same page. That's one thing Billy really enforces.
Now, Linda, you say sooner than later. Are you implying he's met someone already?
Maybe.
Well, you are being cryptic here, woman.
Well, I mean, he definitely is talking to a female.
Okay. Well, you should talk to females. I mean, I try to talk to females, too. Matter of fact, most of the people who call this program are females, so I talk to them. Yeah.
Well, I mean more on a steady basis, but, he's gotten a lot of judgment from...
Already, huh?
Yeah. Really not, and that's really, I'm okay with it. I think it's from God.
Well, I think part of it, too, is that it's not anybody's business.
Amen.
You know, they have no idea what he's gone through. They have no idea how he's viewing this. Or maybe he shared a little bit with them, but they have an opinion about something nobody asked their opinion.
Yes.
I don't know what it is that people have to butt in so much, especially in situations like that one. I mean, that's a major life tragedy. That's a shift of magnitude of 7.9.
Yeah, I mean, within our own family, there's some negativeness and whatever. But anyway, my concern is a 4- and 2-year-old, to be honest.
I don't think you have to be concerned at all.
Okay. Thank
Not
you
at all.
so much, Dr. Ray. God bless.
All right, honey. Bye.
Bye.
Okie dokie. Let's Brent from Washington wanted to comment on my fearless monologue. Eric, it's spelled monologue, M-A-N-O-L, not M-O-N. Everybody has monologues. I have a monologue. Hi, Brent.
Hi, how are you?
Okay, sir. What'd you learn from those coworkers?
Well, I mean, it's too much to talk about. Really, I learned a lot about myself at the same time, and it was an environment where they loved to have men working there, and they recognized the need for men in the school system, in the family, and I got amazing amounts of positive affirmation from there, far more than the men's groups and stuff that I cooked for and was in and stuff like that. But it's I don't know, maybe just about forming a relationship with someone, and when that person cares about you, then you're going to listen to them, even if you're bigger than them, stronger than them, even when you're off the handle in anger and confusion, and then they step up. And there's these languages. They use color in different schoolrooms. Green is good. Basically, red is in anger. And you want to get down. If you're in red, you want to get down into yellow so you can work your way in steps back to being green. And I watch these little ladies just stand up to these giant teenagers who can tip over a pop machine and just be like, what are you doing? You need to get green, and just take them out of the room by their presence. And so just that much love and caring for someone, I just learned so much from them. I wanted to give them a shout out everywhere.
I think that's great, because I remember seeing a show once, Andy of Mayberry, where Barney was being bullied by two guys, roughneck kind of guys, and he went out to ask them to move along because they were selling things within the city limits, and they bullied him because Barney's small and frail, and he certainly doesn't look intimidating, so they scared him off. Barney went back the next time, and he said to them, you're both bigger than me, and you're both stronger than me, but this badge represents a lot of people. And he did exactly what you just said. He essentially said, I recognize, but let me tell you why I'm the authority here. And it worked very well. So.
Yep.
Well, Brent, I appreciate it. And you're absolutely right. I worked in the schools for many, many years. I consulted the school districts. They absolutely loved having a male teacher at the elementary level. Usually there were one, maybe two per building. But they loved the presence of a male there, too. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the call. Take good care.
Thanks for the airtime. Thank you.
All righty. This is Dr. Ray. I got a break coming up here right now. But let's get your calls here at the bottom of the hour. 877-57-EQUAL is the number. Love to talk to you. Call in any time. You have an equal chance of getting on. That's the rule for a lot of reasons. A lot of people say, if I don't call in at the top of the show, because I know that happens. If I say to people 20 till the end of the show, hey, we got open lines, a bunch of people call in. So don't hold back. 877-57-EQUAL. That is the number to call to get onto the program. Veronica, True Image, is confused. She's got a relative. She's calling from Covenant Network. That's a beautiful network, big network there. I want to say hi to Adam if he's listening. Adam doesn't listen a whole lot, but to me anyway. But I want to say hi to Adam. Veronica, are you there, dear? Hello, Veronica. Oh, thank you, dear. What makes you think this relative is a little imbalanced here?
Well, long story. I mean, he lived in a very violent home, and he is very, very, I mean, he believes that Vatican II was a very evil event, and now his wife is divorcing him. They have 4 children, 8 to 3.
Oh, boy.
And he really firmly believes that there is no such thing as divorce in God's eyes, and there is no such thing as annulments. And he believes that women are under total authority of their husbands, not just in faith matters, but everything. And I really think that he might have either autism, some spectrum of that, or because he doesn't, it's all about his head, it's all ideas that he enforces in his life, and it's not about relationships. And I don't know. I don't know if it's a spiritual thing or and he doesn't trust priests because they're all of the Vatican II age, and I don't know.
Veronica, just because people can have extreme and even nutty ideas doesn't mean they have a mental disorder. It means they're thinking, their conclusions could be way off base. Sounds like he's part of a group who takes good teaching to a serious extreme. I would guess that's one of the reasons why his wife has decided I can't live with him. He just has so many ideas that make a marriage unworkable. Is that the case?
It seems that way to me. I mean, I don't know what the ins and outs are because she's very silent about everything. I don't know. They dated long distance, and they were only like possibly 6 months. And
she really didn't know him.
No, she did not.
Mm-hmm.
No, she didn't. I didn't even know he was, that stringent.
Well, it sounds, I'm listening between the lines, it sounds like this is a close relative, perhaps your daughter.
Yes. I don't have children, no, but he is in the family, yes.
Okay. Is there any part at all you would have in any of this? And I mean, by that I mean influence. Do you have any influence with him?
I have tried talking with him, over the past year of, trying to bring different points of view to him, and I've tried to support him in ways that I could, emotionally and spiritually, but he doesn't take to my suggestions because they seem like they're Vatican II.
Okay. So flat out, he's basically invalidated you, correctly?
Guess so.
Sure. And your frustration is you can't do anything about it. Apparently, his view is, my wife wants to break up this marriage, and I'm going to be, at best, a part-time father with my 4 kids under 8. And that's still not enough for him to make some changes, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So his view is, I'm not going to help you in any way because there's no way you can legitimately break up this marriage, even civilly. And, wow, sounds really rough. but it also sounds like you're helpless.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to accept sometimes. I mean, I couldn't be a psychologist if I didn't accept that people are going to make their lives miserable despite anything I could say or do.
Yeah.
I think that's very hard for us to accept, that folks do things and say things and ruin people's lives, and we can't do a thing about it.
Okay.
Appreciate you trying, though. Yeah, it sounds like you tried. You for a year. He don't want to hear it. He doesn't want to hear it. He so much doesn't want to hear it that he doesn't care that he's probably only going to be a part-time daddy at best.
Yeah, they tried to settle out of court, but she supposedly asked too much, and he would see his kids very little.
So now it's going to be a battle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
God bless you for caring, my dear. You got your prayers there, and you sounds like you've intervened over and above the call of duty, so God bless you. Good job. Tough situation. Tough situation. Thank you, honey. Thanks for the call. Yeah, I get that in therapy all the time. I mean, I'm sitting across from a spouse who's going to leave a wife or a husband and several kids. And there's no way you can talk them out of it. And matter of fact, they've come to therapy not to have therapy. They've come to therapy to be able to say, I tried counseling and it didn't work. That's what they come for. That's why oftentimes in these situations, right off the bat, I ask them, do you want to be here? Now, one would assume, well, they came in, you think they do. No, not always. Not always. The spouse who wants to break up the marriage, or the spouse who is really putting pathological pressure on the other spouse who's trying, isn't of the mind to make any changes or to do anything differently. And so their reason for coming into therapy really doesn't come clear, if at all, and typically, sad reality of it all, typically they don't stay more than 1 or 2 sessions, if that. They just want to be able to say, that didn't get us anywhere. Or they'll come in because the other spouse is begging them, please, 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 let's try some kind of counseling, please. But of course, counseling only works if you got the motive to be there and the motive to make the changes you need to make. So I simply have to live with the fact that, unfortunately, a pretty good percentage of the people who come in my office really aren't intent on making the kinds of changes they might need to make. Oh, a little bossa nova. Those are the songs we had to play when I played in the restaurants. We had to do the bossa nova and the ballads while people were eating, and then they were done eating. We could kind of ramp it up a little bit. Bob has an interesting question here. Bob from Texas. He uses some pretty potent words to describe us. Hello, Bob.
Thank you very much.
Sure. Thanks for the call.
Are all people mentally ill?
Well, okay. Let me choose a few more benign words. All of us are maladjusted to some degree, which means we make bad decisions, or we're short-sighted, or we act against our own interests or other people's interests. So yeah, we all have various, obviously, flaws in our personality and our way. But mentally ill, if you use that word to describe serious mental disorder, either biochemically based or so severe from experiences or history or personality adjustment problems, those are still a minority. That's a minority of people. All right. But if you stretch the word mentally ill to incorporate human frailty, well, yeah, then we all are if you stretch it that way. But that's not what you meant, was it? You didn't mean that. You meant mentally ill. You meant mental disorder.
What's the difference between disorder and illness?
Technically speaking, if someone has, let's say, a psychosis that is neurochemically based, in other words, something is wrong in the brain, something actually physically wrong in the brain, that's not an illness. It's not an illness in the strict sense of the word. It's more accurately called a mental disorder. Something's not right up there. Illness, we usually reserve that term for something that is systemically wrong or caused by a bacterium or a virus, or is something that goes wrong with the body. Usually, when you're talking about the brain, a more accurate term is mental disorder. Now, okay, let's say that somebody has encephalitis, bacterial encephalitis, okay, which is an inflammation in the brain's area. You could call that mentally ill because that definitely could cause behavioral or psychological repercussions. You could call it that. But for the most part, people use mental illness to describe, unfortunately, an awful lot of maladjustment that is severe, but it's still based upon behavior, choices, out-of-control emotions. You know, someone who is a serial killer, you could say, well, you've got to be mentally ill to do that. You've got to be. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. The mind is so mysterious, and how it can get twisted and warped, even though it works as well as yours and mine, is something still beyond a lot of human understanding. Those are good questions, Bob. I appreciate that. That's good stuff. Anything else to follow up on that?
As followers of Jesus, I think when we get a little jealous or envious, we're called to repent, and our goal is the glory of God, doing God's will, not our will. Period.
It is, but how does that relate to the question of mental illness?
Well, I think sometimes people, I hope everybody throughout the whole world, that they emphasize a little more the will of God, and not saying, well, I have mental illness or mental disorder. I mean, the world would be one heck of a great place, a lot better, if we did God's will and not our will.
I think there's absolutely no question about that. What has happened in our culture, however, is that we've become more psychologically and pathologically oriented, as opposed to people who have just started to ignore God more and more. And to the degree you ignore God and the way He said to do it, you're going to bring trouble upon yourself. And then you interpret that trouble as, well, I've got an illness, I've got a mental disorder, or I've got a personality disorder, or something. But you're absolutely right, and there's a lot of research that even indicates people who truly try to do what they believe and understand is the will of God are generally more content, people with less anxiety, less depression, and less self-destructive behavior. Thank you, Bob. Good stuff. Appreciate it, sir. Let's go to Michelle. This is an interesting question, and I'm telling you, this is going to be something that's going to happen more and more and more. Hi, Michelle.
Hi. I was recently speaking to a young lady, and she was telling me how some of her college friends are using AI for therapy, and I just wondered if you've ran into that and what you think the results of that will be.
Yes, I have. The results are going to be I can charge less money. No, okay. That's a self-absorbed answer. First of all, AI is still unreliable. As much as I was listening to a fellow who had a seminar. He worked for a corporation, and he had a seminar on AI. And the guy that was giving the seminar said that a lot of the stuff that AI answers is unreliable or even incorrect, flat out incorrect. Mm-hmm. And they tested it. They asked AI some very, very obvious kinds of questions. AI missed it completely, totally. So that's the first thing. So you're gonna run into unreliability, and you're gonna give too much credibility to what the AI tells you. That's the first thing. The second thing is, good therapy needs to have some kind of relationship. All the research says this, that sometimes not as important as the type of therapy you practice is what they call the therapeutic alliance, which is, does the client trust the therapist to understand, to be genuine, and to give advice that would be within their worldview? Now, AI is not going to do that.
Right.
So I think there's severe chance to be badly misled. The other thing is this. If you're going to use AI as a therapist, you're going to be the one to ask the questions. You're going to be the one to say, well, okay, my mom said this. So what is the best way to answer my mom the next time she says that? Well, now that's ridiculous.
Right.
That's just flat out ridiculous.
Yes. I suppose that it could be twisted in such a way as to give you the
answer you want,
or the answers that you want. Yes,
absolutely. And the other problem is, and this is something I've railed about ever since the day I became a psychologist. Psychology is not formulas. You can't say, well, if a person does this, what is the best way to do this? You can't do that.
Right.
It depends upon so many factors. So if a person asks AI and says, I've been feeling depressed lately. What do I need to do to get out of my depression? Well, the AI will give maybe a bunch of generic suggestions, which may or may not relate at all to what the source of the depression is for that person. So these kids are going to be terribly misled.
Yes, I agree.
There you go. There's my rant.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michelle. You take good care. This is Dr. Ray. Gone away.
Do you own popular index mutual funds or ETFs? If so, you're automatically owned shares of companies that conflict with your moral beliefs. Ave Maria mutual funds are managed to conform to pro-life and pro-family values. Long-term investors can invest in the no-load Ave Maria mutual funds. The experienced professional portfolio managers make decisions based on investment fundamentals and pro-life values. You can learn more about Ave Maria mutual funds today at 866-AVE-MARIA or visit AveMariaFunds.com.
Hi, everybody. Dr. Ray Guarendi, host of The Doctor Is In, Ave Maria Radio for 20 years. I've been with them, and during that time I've watched them spread our precious faith to anyone, anywhere. Well, also in that time, their equipment, the equipment that they had as cutting edge, no longer is cutting edge. It's kind of like an iPhone 5. We need your help. We absolutely need your help. Visit AveMariaRadio.net. You're not just donating, you're broadcasting hope.
Light of the East. Weekends on Ave Maria Radio.
I am Father Thomas Loya. This week on Ave Maria, what is the significance of a personal encounter between a lay Eastern Catholic and Pope Leo XIV? Back from his pilgrimage to Rome, we will hear from the most influential lay ecumenists in the Eastern Catholic churches today.
Now on Ave Maria Radio's newest FM stations, 105.5 FM in Southfield and 107.9 FM in Ann Arbor.
This program brought to you in part by Ave Maria, Florida, a big kind of small town where golf carts take you everywhere and there's always something fun around the corner. Discover championship golf, resort-style amenities, and a town center full of shopping and dining. With Ave Maria University and Ave Maria Catholic Church at its heart, it's a community full of connection and charm. More than 25 model homes are available for viewing. More information can be found at AveMaria.com. That's AveMaria.com.
With the Bassa stuff here, Andrew. I was toying with retiring, folks. I wanted to just live off my savings, but I realized I didn't know what I would do the second week. So you're still stuck with me for a while. Marilyn from New Jersey is calling. 13-year-old granddaughter. Father left her and the family, I'm assuming, when she was 10. Hi, Marilyn.
Hi, Dr. Ray. I have one grandchild, and she's 13. She'll be 14 the end of August. Her father abandoned her when she was 10 years old. And as much as personally I think it was a great idea that he did, because it would have been nothing but turmoil for the way he behaves, etc., that was still her daddy. And she is now being taught at home, but not by her mom. Her mom has to work. She's being taught by teachers on computer. And this is going to be her second year, her first year of high school at home. She's on Zoloft. She's on anti-anxiety. And
why all that stuff? Why all that stuff?
She's gotten extremely heavy. She started getting really heavy when puberty hit. So I'm just wondering, my daughter's an agnostic. She was raised Catholic, but the other two children, she was even an altar server. And my granddaughter doesn't even believe in God. Well, how could she? She doesn't even know God. She was never taught anything about God. She used to say Thor was her God. But I'm just wondering, what will become of her? What
I don't know.
The statistics.
Oh, statistics-wise, it's not good.
Right.
She got several things going against her. I can't pinpoint what effect, what ramifications, future will be on your granddaughter because Daddy left. Is he any part of her life at all?
No, not at all.
He's gone.
She tried to get him. It was on her birthday. He abandoned her on her 10th birthday, and she kept trying to get him for weeks and weeks and weeks, and he never answered. So, no, not at all. He's totally out.
You didn't say this, but my guess would be that relationship wasn't the greatest even when he was there.
Correct.
So, in fact, you've got a cauldron of all kinds of effects. You got a young lady who at age 13 already is on medication for her anxiety, her depression, which is basically her discontent and probably maladjustment in life.
Correct.
Mom really doesn't have any kind of plumb line in terms of morality guided by God. She has her own, but whatever that might be, who knows?
Not at all. She's had people sleep at the home with her, and Ellen knew about that. They got divorced when she was 6 years old.
You're going to be Marilyn. You're going to be the stabilizing influence in that. You're going to be the one that's probably at some level going to take this young lady under your wing.
I tried. She doesn't like me. She hasn't liked me from probably the day she was born. And that makes me feel terrible.
What's wrong? What's wrong with you? You too religious? What?
No, I think probably because of parenting. When I was taking care of her when COVID was going on, I had to go to the house for 9 months, basically. And, I just parented. And She's totally permissive. Her mother lets her basically do whatever she wants.
Oh boy, from what you're describing, this is a sad picture. This is a sad picture. And oh boy, you may be in a position 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now to pick up some more pieces, because it doesn't sound like the trajectory of this is anything that would be encouraging. Whoa. No, and the sad thing of it is, the direct influence of Dad leaving is probably not as much as all these other factors.
That's right.
That are intertwined.
That's right.
Oh boy. Well, hopefully
she doesn't have God.
Hopefully she'll allow you at some point back into her life as Grandma, the stable one in her life. It may happen. You're gonna have to, at this point, be kind of an observer as how it goes. Wow. If you didn't get on the program, please call back. You'll be first up. That's a promise from Andrew Kruchek and Eric Dumont, my colleagues. I'm Dr. Ray. I appreciate the company so very much. Walk with God. Walk with God, please.
For information on Dr. Ray's presentations, books, and CDs, visit drray.com and follow him on Facebook and Instagram. The Doctor Is In is a co-production of Ave Maria Radio and EWTN Radio and carried across the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.